We're going to now hear from the Managing Director's Office. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Would you like to proceed? Identify yourself and proceed with your testimony.
Good afternoon, Chair, Councilwoman Tasco, and members of Council. I am Rich Negrin, Managing Director and Deputy Mayor for Administration and Coordination of the City of Philadelphia. It is my pleasure to be here this afternoon. With me today are Brian Abernathy, my Chief of Staff, and David Wilson, who's First Deputy for the Managing Director's Office. Over the course of fiscal year 11, the Managing Director's Office, MDO, has undertaken a series of initiatives, very important ones. For example, Philly Rising, a program which partners with city departments and other agencies to prioritize, plan, and deliver services required to address chronic crime and quality of life issues. We have also worked very diligently over the last year to improve the service of our 311 call center, which has virtually a 93% positive rate. We've expanded and internally relaunched what we call PhillyStat, our performance management accountability program to measure and improve citywide operations. We've expanded our great language access program, Global Philadelphia, which aims to make government readily accessible for Philadelphians who have limited English proficiency. We have begun the important transfer of animal control from the Health Department to the MDO, and with the dedicated support of Deputy Mayor Gillison and Deputy Mayor Cutler, who's in the room, the MDO has helped maintain service levels for important programs such as the Youth Violence Reduction Partnerships, YVRP, and Community Life Improvement Programs. That's the CLIP program. And I want to add that I appreciate Thomas Conway wearing a suit today. I think it's the first time that I've seen him wearing a tie and a suit. A little unusual, I almost didn't recognize him. Before I continue with my testimony, I want to take a brief moment to discuss my special commitment to diversity. I heard a number of the questions before this session, and I wanted to help address some of those before I got into some of the numbers. The MDO's MBE, WBE, DBE participation rates, and I want to highlight our commitment to making Philadelphia government and our partners one of the most friendly and diverse cities in the nation. A city that is not only open but inviting to all Americans. To show the MDO's commitment to minority, women, and disabled businesses in city contracting, during fiscal year 11, my office has achieved a 23% participation rate, a significant improvement over our fiscal year 10 numbers. The MDO's fiscal year 12 participation goal is 25%. To exemplify this commitment internally, we at the MDO take an active role in employing a diverse group of people. I've heard questions about staffing. Almost 60% of the current MDO's workforce comes from a minority background, the majority of which, 46%, identify themselves as African American, 9% Hispanic, of which I am one. To show the MDO's commitment to women, 60% of our active workforce is composed of women. And to ensure meaningful access to city services for all Philadelphians, including immigrants and individuals with limited English proficiency, Global Philadelphia is committed to strengthening the relationship between diverse linguistic communities and city government by ensuring that English language proficiency is not a barrier in assessing essential city services. These commitments are especially important to me on a personal level as a first-generation son of immigrants and will remain to be a top priority for the MDO's office. The MDO fiscal year 12 budget has been reorganized to include 2 additional divisions. The first, as I mentioned, is animal control, which will be transferred from the Department of Health to the MDO. We have also created a separate division for the first time this year because it is appropriate for 311, which for the past 2 fiscal years has fallen under the MDO's administration division. Therefore, the MDO's fiscal year 12 budget totals $22 million in the general fund and reflects an increase of $6.4 million for this year. The majority of the increase is accounted for by the following. Again, $3.8 million, and that is the bulk of the increase, is related to the transfer of animal control from the Health Department to the MDO. $1.5 million is allocated for the Youth Violence Reduction Partnership. $500,000 is allocated to fund personnel costs associated specifically with Philly Rising to make sure that we can expand the program across the city. More than $200,000 is allocated to fund personnel costs under the Mayor's Office of Sustainability for 3 critical staff members who are currently funded through a federal grant set to expire in June of this year. And $167,000 is allocated for a transfer of 5 agents from the Department of L&I to 311 to continue the consolidation of that important call center function. The administration division of the MDO would be funded at $3.4 million of this amount. $738,000 is derived from the grants fund, and $2.6 million is derived from the general fund. The administration division provides policy direction, reviews efficiencies, and ensures accountability for the delivery of city services. Its functions include the support for administrative programs such as PhillyStat and Philly Rising, along with many city halls, the Mayor's Commission on People with Disabilities, and the Mayor's Commission on Aging, as well as the Mayor's Office of Faith-Based Initiatives and various advisory boards, including the Private Sector Outreach Board, which a number of City Council's members are a part of. In Mayor Nutter's budget address, he noted that one of fiscal year 12's investments would be Philly Rising. This is a new model for neighborhood service delivery in Philadelphia. Under the leadership of Deputy Managing Director John Farrell, Philly Rising works to partner with residents in developing strategies to help them combat chronic crime and quality of life issues that continue to plague our neighborhoods. In the Hartran community of North Philadelphia, located in Councilman Clark's district, we evaded the community in reopening an indoor pool, demolishing 14 eminently dangerous properties, bringing the police athletic league to the local elementary school, opening a new computer lab for free adult education that is really making a difference, and watching neighbors work together to help beautify their streets. We are also seeing an impact on crime, most notably an almost 16% decrease in serious crime between February and December of 2010 from the previous year. These successes are achieved by better coordination rather than the expenditures of significant resources. It's by doing things smarter. I also want to add that just yesterday I attended the Citizen Engagement Academy, which was the first graduation we had for 10 members of that community who actually took a 6-week program to learn all about city services, what they can and cannot do. And it was a pleasure to see Mayor Nutter there actually offering them their certificates. They were so proud. One of them was Diane Bridges, who has helped make so many of the changes in the Hartran community. The investment we have requested for Philly Rising will allow us to expand the program over the course of fiscal year 12. The vast majority of our request, $547,000, will fund the salaries of 7 staff members who handle day-to-day operations for targeted neighborhoods. 6 coordinators will each be assigned to one of the 6 police divisions. These coordinators will be responsible for bringing Philly Rising to communities within their borders, and they will reach troubled neighborhoods across the city. The final position is that of the Deputy Managing Director that is encompassed by John Farrell's position, who will oversee the operations citywide. During the past fiscal year, the MDO, under the program administration of Assistant Managing Director Catherine Lamb, has redesigned internally the PhillyStat model to better improve departmental performance and provide accountability. The new PhillyStat model focuses on achieving outcomes that matter to residents, while simultaneously focusing on improving the internal efficiency of city government. The new PhillyStat model was soft launched in January of 2011 under my direction as a pilot and will be rolled out officially later this spring. Global Philadelphia, a program overseen by Assistant Managing Director David Torres, is the city's language access program. Global Philadelphia's primary focus, as I mentioned earlier, is the building of a sustainable infrastructure within and across departments to ensure meaningful access to city services for all Philadelphians, including individuals with limited English proficiency. Over the course of fiscal year 11, the program has continued to engage departments citywide by assisting them in their provision of services to LEP residents through interpretation and translation resources. I want to also add that recently it has also coordinated a very effective and important cultural sensitivity training across the city, across departments, that has been very successful. The MDO's administrative division also includes the coordination of special events, overseen by Deputy Managing Director Giselle Jones. This office serves as a catalyst to encourage cooperation and collaboration on interdepartmental projects and events, as well as external initiatives, including the production of films, commercials, parades, festivals, concerts, and many other special events. Philly 311, under the leadership of Deputy Managing Director Rosetta Liu, is the city's non-emergency call center and walk-in facility. The division of Philly 311 accounts for $2.9 million of the MDO's budget. This amount reflects a transfer of $165,000 for the L&I employees that I mentioned earlier. Another success in 311, and something new that we've started this year, has been the establishment of the new Customer Service Leadership Academy. It is now available to all city employees. The Academy provides a variety of trainings to city employees, in particular those who have regular interaction with the public, to improve their customer service skills. Since its launch, over 400 city employees have attended various courses. The feedback on this program has been incredibly positive. And those 400 employees have been trained just within this past calendar year. So it's making a lot of headway. My goal would be that every department within the administrative group who has interaction with the public goes through that training so that when people call the city of Philadelphia, they have a positive customer service experience. So we're well on our way on that issue. Philly 311 has taken almost 3 million calls. I believe in April we expect to hit 3 million since its inception in December of 2008. Providing all callers with an easy way to access and navigate city-related services. At the start of fiscal year 11, 311 was nationally designated as a citizen-engaged community by the Public Technology Institute, something we're very proud of. Citizen engagement during the year included training close to 200 Philadelphia residents to become 311 neighborhood liaisons. This program is designed to provide active residents requesting multiple city services with an easy-to-use tracking system to monitor the progress of each specific request. With the help of my Chief of Staff, Brian Abernathy, Animal Control, a newly established division within the MDO, accounts for $3.8 million of the budget. This is a direct transfer of general fund monies from the Department of Health to the MDO. The majority of this funding is allocated toward professional services under Class 200. And I noticed that Councilman Kelly is here. I know he was in large part responsible for this, and I know Brian is very thankful for your interest in this area. With the help of Deputy Managing Director Bridget Greenwald and Finance Director Rob Dubow, the MDO, in collaboration with various city departments, have developed a comprehensive strategy to address the city's vacant property situation. To date, we have engaged many internal and external stakeholders in the vacant property conversation, including Council's Committee on Housing, Neighborhood Development, and the Homeless, focusing our efforts on the disposition of city-owned property, the maintenance of vacant land, the acquisition and tax policies surrounding vacant property, and establishing an accurate vacant property inventory. This effort is still in the preliminary stages, and we will continue to partner with City Council as we move forward. The Division of Public Safety proposes a total allocation of $14.5 million, of which $6.7 million is derived from the general fund, while $7.7 million is derived from the grant fund. The proposed increase for the general fund is $1.5 million, all of which replace expiring federal grant funds in YVRP to continue its successful investment in Philadelphia's youth. For the Division of Transportation and Utilities, a total allocation of $5.4 million is requested for fiscal year 12. Of this amount, $80,000 represents the grants fund and $5.3 million represents the general fund. Under the supervision of Deputy Managing Director Thomas Conway, the CLIP program continues to improve the appearance and image of the city of Philadelphia. The number of vacant lots cleaned this year has increased an impressive 30% due to increased maintenance or compliance by property owners. The Health and Opportunity Division constitutes a small portion of our budget. The proposed allocation for this division is $540,000, all of which is derived from the general fund. This money supports personnel expenses of 5 staff members. The Mayor's Office of Sustainability constitutes the majority of the Economic Development Division of the MDO budget. The total proposed allocation for this division is $4.1 million. Of this amount, $800,000 is the general fund, while $3.3 million is generated from grants revenue. The general fund reflects an increase of $218,000 in Class 100, which is directly related to the transition of 3 critical positions from a Department of Energy grant to the general fund. MOS, under the leadership of the Director of Sustainability, Catherine Gajewski, is responsible for coordinating and implementing Greenworks Philadelphia and for driving Mayor Nutter's commitment to making Philadelphia the greenest city in America by 2015. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today, and at this time, I would love to take questions.
Thank you very much.